Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at First Martians, Adventures on the Red Planet. This is put out by Portal Games, aimed at ages 14 and up, 1 to 4 players. Approximate time is 1 to 2 hours. Now, this is a fairly new game. I believe it came out in 2017. Yeah, 2017. It's a real heavy box. There's a lot in here. It's a standard size box, so there's quite a bit to go through. It's got 3 miniatures. You get a hub, Froggy and Scorpio. 15 custom dice, 12 action pawns, 125 plastic markers, 150 cards. A bunch of different types of cards apparently, so that'll be fun. 4 player ID boards, 19 ROI tiles, 13 facility tiles, 8 shutdown tiles, 8 upgrade tiles, 135 tokens. Oh, that's a lot of tokens. 3 double-sided mission sheets, 2 campaign booklets, 3 trackers, 1 first player token, 1 game board, and a rule book. And it looks like there's 2 different campaigns with 6 missions, and it does have an app available for it, so you can use the app. And usually the apps are kind of cool add-ons for these type of games. So let's open this up and see what we got in here. The box has a nice smooth feel to it. That's pretty cool. It's got like a linen cover. We got pretty decent quality box. Alright, first up we've got our rule book. It's I don't particularly like this size. I'd like them a little smaller, but it's pretty standard now. It's 24 pages long. Looks like there's a lot of symbols on these things. So it's probably going to be one of those you got to really pay attention to. There's an index on page 23 and a big advertisement because they needed that. So let's see what else we got here. It's a nice color, very vibrant, lots of imagery. So, but the print is still pretty small, and it does look like there's a lot of complicated symbols to try and remember. But yeah, the art's pretty cool. They just kind of sprinkle it in, seemingly at random. It's got that new game smell too. But yeah, it looks like it's a fairly complex game, so age 14 and up is probably a good recommendation. Yeah, there's our components list. So we're gonna see all that stuff here in a minute. See how good a quality it is. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty cool. I like the layout with all the pictures, the color pieces and stuff. I always like seeing that. Alright, do not open or browse unless you intend to play the campaign. Campaign number 1. Oh, do I open it for you? Oh, do I? Do I? Oh no! I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. It's got some neat information in there, I'm sure. These size booklets are a little easier for me to use than the big wobbly ones. They don't tend to fall off the table quite as easily. So yeah, you got control missions or campaigns, whatnots. So there's 2 campaign booklets. Then there's these look like the missions. We've got a probe on the loose. And on the back of that is landing. And there's a guessing game. And it seems to have all the information you need. Mission objectives, gameplay changes, soul counter, special actions, mission POIs. Then make yourself at home. I like that each one looks a little different too, because like there's optimum conditioning, so there's different things you have to do for these missions. The objectives are different, so it's got a completely different look to it. I like that a lot. Here we have malnourished plants. And on the other side, we have local materials. So yeah, it's got a real cool look to it. It looks very sci-fi, and I dig that. Looks pretty cool. Alright, here's secret envelope number 1. Contains additional info from MCEI. Do not open unless instructed. And they are sealed. There's quite a bit in here. I can feel some cards in there. I'm not going to open these because that would ruin the game, I think, for a lot of people. And people get a little upset when I do stuff like that. Here's envelope number 2. This one feels like it's just like 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. The envelopes are really thin, so you got to be a little careful with them, because anything that is in here is going to easily get crumpled if you're not careful. There's envelope number 3. This one's mostly just cards, it feels like. Well, that one's crumpled a little bit. I don't like that. Let's see, this is like cards about this long, about that wide. So I don't know what's in here, but it's not nearly as much as the other ones. This one's a lot thicker, and it's something goes here, over, and obviously this is folded, which is really annoying. Whatever is in here is also creased because of the way they packed it. So that's very irritating. You can see where whoever packaged this needs to be taught a life lesson. Alright, here's our board. It's a 6-panel, it looks like. Really nice quality, actually. This is what crumpled that envelope, because this was sliding around. It wasn't secured. So the bottom envelope, which I don't know why they put the envelopes there and not some piece of cardboard in between. But yeah, this is a real nice board. It's a lot larger than I expected, honestly. Let's see if you can get a decent look here. Being a 6-fold means you gotta check the seams if you're buying it used. People have a real bad habit of not taking care of the game boards. And of course sometimes they get wet. Or just irresponsibility, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's got a nice smooth feel to it. It's not heavy gloss, which I really like. This is very, very nicely done. It's a very beautiful board. Real impressed with it, actually. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Folds up real nice too. It is fairly heavy box altogether, so there's gonna be a lot of little pieces and stuff. So you'll want to figure out a layout for everything. So let's get some of these out. And we'll look at all the little stuff here in a little bit, because I want to zoom in and get a good look at it. So we'll take all those out and move that aside. Nothing underneath. Stupid time stories making me check underneath every single packaging now. You don't want to throw the packaging away without knowing nothing's under there. Just saying, sometimes that can bite you. Alright, so let's look at these things here. Let's try and center that a little better. Alright, so obviously this is your tiles and various little counters and stuff. And then for some reason they wedged little stuff in between them. I don't know why. That's really dumb. So that's whoever put these boxes together did not know what they were doing. So these are not numbered either. Well, they don't appear to be anyway. Oh, yeah, they are. They're marked down in the bottom. This one says number 2. It's very faint, though. That kind of blends in with the white background. But here you have your objective tokens, first player token. You got trackers, morale tokens of these like target-looking things, and on the back, pretty standard. All right, number 3, we've got some modifier tokens here, shutdown tokens here, condition tokens, upgrade tiles. I can't read the other ones upside down, sorry. And on the back they have some more information. You're going to want to make sure that as much of this stuff as possible is here, because it does seem like all of these are necessary. And this piece fell out of this next board, so that's actually supposed to be in there, I think. So these are spare parts tokens over here, and the rest are facility tiles. And on the back, we just have these blank pieces, or generic computery bits. Alright, here's punch board number 5, facility tiles, and some shutdown tiles. So yeah, the boards are pretty thick actually. They're a little thicker than average, I would say, but not enough to make too big of a difference. They are pretty good quality. Colors are real vibrant. I like that. So yeah, slightly above average, I'd say. Alright, so let me adjust the camera and we'll take a look at all the little bits. Starting with these. Alright, so these say First Martian on the back. There's some punch outs here. So first we have the engineer mechanic. And it looks like you can punch these out. There's like a little spot here like for a lanyard. And there's little squares here that pop out. I don't know what for. I assume that's life damage. They have little ID numbers and valid through, so that's kind of neat. Then we have a medic biologist, a scientist slash biogeochemist, and then a geologist rover op. So it's cool. It looks like they're using actual photos of real people, probably people that worked on the game. So that's kind of neat. And these are real nice. They are thick, like the same cardstock quality as the tiles. So there is that. So let's get these out of the way and get to the next piece. Alright, let's take a look at the little pieces. And again, I'm sorry I'm using the backup camera. So it will jump around a little bit as it tries to locate, like focus on something, and I don't know how to shut that off. I can't figure it out. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of little green tiles, or little plastic cubes, red plastic cubes, these kind of grayish black ones. They're actually like more of a charcoal smoky gray. They're not actually black. And then some blue and white. Looks like there's 15 clear ones. I said white, they're actually clear. So there's 15 of those. About the same of blue. And there's more of the other ones. I'm not going to sit here and count them, that's boring. But, yeah, it looks like you get quite a few of these. These are fairly easy to replace. You can use wooden squares or similar plastic ones from other games if you have to. So there is that. I'm sure it says in the book how many exactly there are, so let me see if I can find that real quick. There's 14 blue, 15 clear, 24 black, 44 green, and 28 red. So there's quite a few of those here. So let's get these out of the way. But they're standard quality. Nothing too special. Alright, and here we've got a bag full of these round ones. Which, these are neat. They roll a lot though, so you gotta kind of watch it, or you'll be hunting them all over your floor. So we've got 2 red, 2 purple, 2 yellow, 1 blue, 2 of these charcoal ones, 1 of slightly lighter charcoal, an off yellow, it's like a pea color, and then a green one. Now these, according to the book, are action pawns. The purple ones are player pawn, or the ones that have 2 of each are the player pawns, and then the AOM pawns are those singular ones. So there's your player colors, and there's your AOMs. I don't know what AOM is because I haven't read the rule book yet. But yeah, these are pretty standard quality plastic. Not spectacular, definitely not awful. You know, pretty average. These might be a little harder to replace, but I think you can buy these type of things online or find a usable substitute. Alright, so let's get those out of the way. And let's take a look at these miniatures. If I can get the bag open. There we go. Alright, so these are very unique looking. And they're pretty nicely done, actually. There's not a lot of detailing on these two. The little rover looking thing has some detailing on the wheels, but it is overall very generic design. Same with the little truck here. This is incredibly generic. There's no detailing at all on this area here or on top of the tires. The tires barely have any detailing, and the underneath otherwise is completely ignored. So not much in the way of detailing here. So that one's very disappointing. This one, however, is very light on detail, but it does look pretty cool, I think. It actually looks like a sort of space base. Bottom's pretty bland. There's not even copyright information. That's weird. Usually they have big, you know, do not, will sue the crap out of you signs, but they don't on this one. But it's cool looking. It looks like the design of an actual type of base, but the other two were pretty lacking. I'm really uninspired overall by these two especially. They could have done a little bit of detailing. It just looks a little lazy to me. So this one does have really nice thickness though. I'd be a little worried about the little guy here getting kind of banged up. This one's average, like almost like a kid's toy quality. So yeah, I wouldn't let little kids play with these because they probably will get destroyed, but they seem okay, but I'm kind of disappointed with them, honestly. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Now let's look at our dice here. Alright, there's a lot of dice, so let's find out what they are. Alright, there are 3 green Explorer dice. 3 blue Research dice. 3 gray Gather dice. And they're calling these brown. These are build dice. And then you have malfunction dice, which is yellow, and a red, and an orange. So, let's see what we got here. Are these all the same? No, they are not the same. Yeah. Alright, so let's look these individually and see what we've got here. So these are all different. Make sure I try and center that. So you got a check mark, whatever that thing is, and a question mark. So let's rotate it. Slightly different symbol. That one's still check mark and a square. Then we get. So if you need to replicate these, hopefully this will help. And then we're back where we started. So let's go the other way. Replacing these would be very, very difficult because they are very unique symbols. The weird check mark, that whatever this symbol is, probably be the hardest. And blank sides are easy to replicate, but these other ones not so much. So that's the green die. Let's look at the blues. Dice quality appears to be okay. Nothing special. Pretty average dice. Transparent. Whoop-de-doo. So, yeah. They feel etched in, so that is nice. It is a step up from some of them that we've seen before where they're just like painted on. So, yeah. I'll do these three first. Yeah, I think, yeah, these are all kind of the same. There's one of each type of each color from what I can see. So let's look at these three quick. These might be different. The fact that they're different colors does kind of hurt too, because that means you're going to have to find some way to distinguish them from other dice. And there's a lot of different colors here that you'll have to work with if you have to replace these. So, I don't know. Replacing these would definitely not be something I would want to do. If you can find an extra set of these, you might want to just pick them up just in case and put them in a separate place. I have a dice box, of course, like every major nerd. I have a big bin full of dice. Why is my phone going off? So I like to keep backups. And this would probably be a good one. If you like this game, I would try and find an extra set of dice. Yeah, the dice are okay. I would actually say they're slightly above average. Because they are etched as opposed to being just kind of drawn on. But I don't know how well the colors are going to hold up on there. You might have to recolor them at some point. So let me get these out of the way and we'll take a look at the cards. Alright, so we've got two different bricks here of cards. They're pretty thick, so this might take a little while. I apologize if you want to skip to the end. That's fine. Feel free. But we're going to go through these. So there's a lot of different cards in here. And hopefully they don't have a lot of overlap with the other deck. Alright, so we'll start with the biggest block of them, which is the malfunction working block deck. And see what we've got here. Don't fool with high tech. One source less. Caution flammable. Dismantle. Groping in the dark. Gasping for air. Leak. Battery drain. Manual update. Short circuit. Clearing the air. Memory leak. Contamination. Data loss. Scheduled upkeep. Remote control failure. Clogged air duct. Unreliable power source. Memory chip problems. Rewiring. It worked a while ago. Spreading chaos. Exposed drills. Longer than expected. This is heavy. Inaccessible spot. Repairs. Disconnected. Toasted CPU. Not a drop. Oh, come on. Not that versatile. Vehicle checkup. Good things come to those who wait. Shivers. Stay put. Loss of airframe integrity. These used to last longer. GPS rebels. And lastly, a worn axle. Okay, my phone's going nuts for some reason. So there are supposed to be 40 cards here in this deck. So that was all of those. Now there are 8 direction cards. That's these. Let's take a look at these. See what we got. We've got Northwest. Regular West. Southwest. South. Southeast. East. Northeast. And lastly, North. Pretty straightforward. Then we have some AOM cards. These are automated operating machines. There are 4 of them. There's the mapping drones, the robotic manipulator, the automated research assistant, and the autonomous logistics vehicle. Looks like a forklift to me. But that's what these cards are. Oops. As I throw one of them across the table. Then we have facility cards. Now there are 14 facility cards. First up we have multi-purpose station. Oh, they're all say multi-purpose station apparently. That one was a 4, this one's a 3. Here's a 2. Here's a 1. And this one is a backup farm. A backup oxygenator. Backup solar panels. Temporary working bay. Temporary lab research. Temporary probe bay gather. Temporary garage hall explore. Backup crew quarters unwind. Backup Control Center, manage. And lastly, Backup Med Lab, heal. Alright, so that's all of those. Then we have skill cards. There are 12 skill cards. First up, we have the player skills, scientist, biochemist, biogeochemist. That one is joining forces. Same guy, we've got precautionary measures. Same guy, an educated choice. Then the geologist rover op, a shorter route. We will rock you. Eureka! Then we move on to the engineer mechanic. Oh, yes I can. I'm on it. And lastly, the mother of invention. Alright. That's all of those. That's actually only 9 of them, so there's more in the other deck, which is what I was afraid of. So let me open that up and see if I can find those real quick. I don't know why they do that. That's really annoying. Alright, so here's the other 3. We have the medic biologist, plasters and bandages. Then the lie down and relax. And not as bad as it looks. Alright, so that's all of them. That's all 12 skill cards. So let's get these out of the way. And we'll take a look at the rest of these. Starting with the malfunction cards. Alright, so these are malfunction system block cards. There's 26 of them. Excuse me. First we have hunger strikes. Thermostat failure, nitrogen deficiency syndrome, or symptoms rather, barren soil, cooler fault, acid and base, dead of night, hostile atmosphere, error, overheated, maintenance, battery terminals, hotspots, when the dust settles, too soon, broken interconnects, material fatigue, fear makes cowards of us all, choose wisely, hold your breath, bated breath, breathless. There's a lot of dying by oxygen here. Take a deep breath, out of order, electrolysis, possible leak detected. That's the last one. That's all 26 of the system block malfunction cards. Alright, let's take a look at these. These are the malfunction living block cards. It looks awfully red on there. I don't know if you can read these. Might just be the way I have the screen tilted. Alright. Access denied. Dear Diary. No movies tonight. No rest for the wicked. Freezing. Lights go out. So close and yet so far. Broken spinning bike. Play it cool. Self-diagnosis. Mismatch. A friendly reminder. Medical records. An illness develops. A breath of fresh air. Conversion loss. Decryption failed. Disinfection solution. Recovery. Chain reaction. What's going on out there? Probably better you don't know. Inspection of work equipment. Off the grid. Do not rely on AI. In the hot seat. Switch off. Do you copy? And lastly, life preservation. So that's all 28 living block malfunction cards. So anything that can go wrong in the living block will go wrong. Alright, we still have a couple more to go. Research cards. There are 6 of these. So let's see what we've got. %, is number 1. 50% is number 2. Number 3 is 40%. Number 4 is 35%. Number 5 is 30%. And lastly, number 6 is 15%. Then we have some profile cards. There are 4 double-sided profile cards. I don't know who they go to. Alright, there's just 4 of these, and it's got a bunch of information like physicality, personal life, monumentous events, mentality, and yeah, there's different numbers at the top. I think you're supposed to like draw one and pick which side you want. I don't know. Seems a little arbitrary to me, but what do I know? So I'll just let you get a quick look at those, because I don't really see much point in reading them all. They're just like flavor text. I don't know what the meaning, if any, there is to the use of these. Alright, after that we've got 8 upgrade cards, and that is the last of it then. So we've got upgrades. There's only 8 of these. So first we have Unmanned Collector, Server Cluster, Power Generator, Auto Scanner, Reconnaissance Satellites, Games Room, Tech Room, and finally, Warning System. Alright, so that's all the cards. The cards are actually pretty nice quality. They're a little slick. I don't know. They have a kind of a weird texture. But they're actually pretty nice quality. I'll give them credit on that one. The cards are pretty nice. So overall, everything's a minimum of average. And I would say even pretty good. Get everything back in the box where it won't get screwed up is probably the hardest part. So, yeah. Pieces are pretty decent quality. As far as the tiles go, they seem okay. The board's really nice. My main complaints are that this envelope was damaged. As you can see when you put it in here, how it fits in. The board is right underneath it. if they had put the board underneath the tile pack, this wouldn't have happened. Or put a separate thin piece of cardboard underneath between the two, wouldn't have happened. But this was inevitable because it's sagging into this, and then if it shifts at all during shipping or packaging like that, it's going to crush the envelope, which it clearly did. And that's very, very, very annoying, especially as much as these games cost. And this one didn't help because it's mostly empty except for the weight down here, which is right on top of this. So it's pushing that one down into the board. And there's really no way around it the way it's designed to lay out. So they could have put another piece in there between those to separate them, but they didn't. But there's a lot here. It looks like it's a pretty fun game. It's got some pretty good reviews. I'm interested in how it plays out, but I have a bad feeling that once you play it, it's probably going to be a one-trick pony. You might be able to play it a couple times, but it might be one of those games that once you open those envelopes, it may ruin the game for you. So that is something I would worry about. Otherwise, I don't know. It looks like it's a good game. It's decent quality, and if you can pick it up for like $40, I'd say it's probably worth it. You got a good group together, sit down and play it, or even play it by yourself. But yeah, I don't know. With the envelopes being mystery envelopes, I don't want to ruin anything for people who may want to play this, but I would be a little hesitant to invest too much money in a game that you may play only one time. And if those envelopes are missing and the contents of the envelopes, which I don't know what they are missing, the game is probably going to be severely hindered by that. So I'd be willing to bet that this is better off purchased new than used. So that's my assessment of it based on not having played it, but just looking at the contents. If those envelopes are opened, you don't really know what's supposed to be in there. You can kind of guess, but if some one or two pieces is missing, it makes the whole thing pretty worthless. At least from an experience standpoint, having played similar games. But that's my assessment of it. It looks like it's probably worth about $40, maybe more to people that really like games like this. But yeah, it looks like it's probably a decent game. But that'll do it for me. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.